All right, my skin is bomb.
All right, welcome everyone. This video needs 1,000 likes, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and catch the next stream by hitting the notification bell. The first question that we have, actually, let me introduce everyone. We've got Darnell. Darnell, you might need to scoot up a little bit. We've got Moro, Morvarid, but Moro for short. We've got me, and we've got Kia and Jumana. So I'm really glad that you guys are here today. The first question I just kind of want to get out of the way is first date. Would you be okay with going to coffee, or would you prefer to go to dinner? We could start on this side of the room.
Well, I don't really date for religious reasons, but if I do go out, to get to know people, I'd rather do a coffee date. I don't want to stick around for too long. You know what I mean? Like, it's too long, then you're stuck. You're stuck. What if you don't like the person? It's like you have to it's draining. You know what I mean? So coffee is quick. Yeah, coffee.
Coffee. More varied. How about you? Or more?
I think it depends on the individual. Like if I feel like I do have something in common with somebody, then I want to get to know them a little more, and I'll do like a dinner date. But if I feel like, oh, there might be some inconsistencies, but I feel like there is some, value to that person, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll do like a quick coffee date, whatever. But in experience, the coffee date was so much better than the actual dinner date, because it's during the day you get to know somebody, and at night people are like, they've had the long day, they don't want to conversate as well, as much, and they don't have that energy like they would, depending. And I think coffee dates are really so much better because there's no alcohol involved. There's no, like, you get to know the person for who they really are, instead of like they're triggered with alcohol, or like their mind is not like focused on you or whatever, or their intentions are so different. So I think it honestly depends on like the individual and who you want to go on a date with. Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
The ladies basically said exactly how I feel. Initial meeting, of course, I would rather go with coffee because, like you said, more you want to get to know a person. You want them to be in a comfortable environment to where they don't feel pressured, and you want to be in an environment where you can hear what they have to say.
Exactly.
Sometimes going out at night, going to a bar, going to a club, and sometimes even going to a restaurant. It's not personal,
Right.
as it should be. But coffee, you're just sitting there. You don't feel, I gotta dress the part. I gotta spend this much money on dinner so she can think I'm not broke, or
Right.
Whatever it may be. But I prefer coffee. I wanna be able to pick your brain. I want to see how intellectual you are. I want to see if you have children. I just want to get to know you. And if I'm eating, I'm gonna. I'm good.
Right.
I'll be
Exactly.
focusing on the food.
Yeah, I'm like, and then you're gonna see that I don't like my steak cooked medium. I like it medium rare, and I'm gonna get mad. And like you said, the outside influence.
Right.
I don't want you to judge me because I like food.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, coffee, as you can tell.
Okay, but have you ever been asked by a guy out and he asked to coffee and it was kind of like you didn't like that he asked you to coffee?
I have this one friend. Shout out to Kevin. It's my homeboy. I've known him for like 16 years, and when we first became friends, it was a coffee date. And that coffee date went to 16 years friendship. So I love coffee dates. I had a date before some years ago. It was an ice cream date, and it was perfect. I seen on Instagram though that somebody got mad. They're like, ice cream. I'm not a little ass kid. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you can. I saw that in the movie Half Baked too. Dude asked this girl to ice cream and all his boys made fun of him. But ice cream is just like coffee, right?
Yeah, it's quick. I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't really get ice cream anyway, but I like it.
But what if someone asked you to ice cream, Mora?
Ice cream. Oh yeah, that's my weakness. You can't go wrong with a gelato. Yeah, ice cream dates, coffee dates. I think it just, like I said, it just depends on the individual. Like I feel like they're upbeat like me and they have that similar personality, it doesn't matter what kind of date it is. You're just gonna enjoy yourself. Like yeah, so ice cream, coffee date during the day. I just think the first initial date there should be no alcohol involved. That's what I feel like. I feel like there should be no substances, no alcohol, no nothing, so you can get to know someone. I think nowadays it's very hard because everybody is scared to date because modern day dating is just so difficult getting to know somebody. So I personally think that there should be no alcohol involved. That's my main thing.
Darnell, I got a question for you. Have you ever asked a girl out to something simple? It didn't have to be coffee, but she didn't respond well to it, and you got the feeling that she was expecting a dinner?
Yeah, remember we talked about that, I think, on the first one. She wanted this expensive dinner, and I'm like, I don't even know you yet. You want an expensive dinner, like it's Valentine's Day, or we've been dating for a couple years. I was like, man, something simple. Too many expectations there, and it was one of those situations where she had a lot of dinners that she posted on Instagram. So and I
Doing
was
it
like,
for the
yeah,
gram.
doing it for the gram. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I ain't want nothing to do with
different.
that.
Yeah, I think that's another thing nowadays because you don't know who's genuine and who's doing it to be like, hey, look, I'm at this place, eating at this expensive
Right,
place.
right.
And it's not like getting to know that person. So yeah, I think like what you said, it's hard to go on dinner dates nowadays because everyone's expectations is so different. I think if social media wasn't involved, I
it'd be so much
think
better.
it would be so much better if nobody's competing with who does what, where they go, where they eat, because nowadays it's like, oh, my girlfriend went to, I don't know, Mastro's. I want to go to Fleming. Or you know what I mean? It's like that. It's a competition all the time.
You're trying to one up each
So
other.
just like, yeah, so I think initial dates, keep it private, keep
Mhm.
it non-alcoholic and non-substance and blah, 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 all of that. So you get to know somebody. And I think dinner dates, yeah, you could be stuck with somebody
Too
and
long.
and you're just like, oh, I want to leave this date as soon as, and you're just stuck eating.
Yeah,
So-
time is valuable. So it's just like-
Exactly. Time is very valuable. So that's how I feel about that.
I had this one guy take me on a date, and it was the very first date, and I didn't want to do it. Like he took me, I can't even tell you, Mastro's, Fleming's. I don't know where the hell we were.
Wait, why didn't you want to do it?
Well, because he was showing out. I don't believe he was being himself, and he's like, I'm gonna take you to this fine restaurant and did it. I'm like, you don't have to do all that.
No, he was flexing.
Yeah, he was flexing. It's too hard. And I was just like, I didn't expect that.
But were you into him to even begin with?
I couldn't be into him. I didn't know him.
Mm.
I didn't know him. And this was the date to get to know you. And I didn't know you because you didn't allow us to talk often and get to know each other's personality before you went and took me to this restaurant, spent $600, and then your expectation of me was something that I was not gonna give, which I didn't. But just like, I don't like when people be like, oh, I'm gonna just take you, I'm gonna take you here, and you're gonna like this, and I'm spend money on you. But I don't expect you to do that. I don't expect you to spend money on me like that because obviously I'm just want to get to know you. Let me get to know you.
That's what it take when you have a date with somebody. You take that time to understand who they are and know,
Yeah.
instead of worrying about, I just took you on an $800 date.
You gonna give me some?
Right.
Nah, you ain't getting none of these.
Them cookies is on a dessert menu.
Not these coons.
But on that same note, I think if a girl was gonna give it up to you, that could be done with $0.
Facts.
That's
Facts.
facts.
Exactly.
That's facts.
She would have made her mind up
Yeah.
probably before she left home, depending on how the night goes, if she going, one way or the other.
I didn't even kiss
Yeah.
him.
It could be like a walk on the beach, or not to
Oh,
be
I
too
love
corny.
the beach. That's beautiful. Like I would love
Right.
that. Oh, I would love that. Well, my boyfriend do that, but I mean, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we're all on the same page, that the first date doesn't have to be something super like extraordinary. It could just be something simple, and it depends on if you like that person or not. and that's the most important factor. Okay, so I got a question for you guys all. If you were in a relationship, would you still be friends with somebody knowing that they 100% want to get with you if you weren't in a relationship?
Like I said, it just depends on the individual. It's difficult to say. I wouldn't personally do it because then I feel bad leading somebody on, just keeping them in my life if I'm not really interested. I wouldn't be able to. No, I would still be nice and just hi and bye here and there, but to hang out and do all of that is just, I think that's cruel because you're giving someone false hope and false like.
What if your dude asked you to delete them off your Instagram?
Bye.
Oh, no. Comment on that, please.
Bye, friend. I actually had this conversation with my man. I ain't gonna call him my boyfriend because he's a grown ass man. But with my man, and it wasn't. He had to ask me, or I did it because that's what I'm supposed to do. You know, I'm not going to make him feel any type of insecurities because of me. You know, I don't want him to feel any negativity because of me. So you don't have to ask me to get rid of someone because they have a crush on me or get rid. If they're already gone, you know. If I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship, and everyone who surrounds themselves, who I surround myself with, is for me, gun ho for me and mine.
Yeah.
And if you're not gun hoing for me and my man, then you don't need to be around me. You know. Honestly, it's kind of cutthroat out here. it's kind of cutthroat when it comes to my man. I gotta.
So is that just for guys that may have an interest in you, or is that just for guys, period, where you won't have any friends at all?
No, guys who have an interest in me.
Oh, okay.
How do you know if a guy has an interest in you?
Most men tell you.
Yeah, they don't
they
stay
tell you.
quiet. They don't stay quiet. You get the hints. You get the hints. But for me personally, like if I'm close to a guy friend, then that's his friend too.
Yeah.
So we all become
There's
friends.
no new friends.
Yeah, there's no. So
No
like I will
friends.
introduce like if I feel like oh this person has ill intentions, then I wouldn't be friends with them.
Exactly.
So for me, it's like whoever's my friend, they're gonna get to know whoever I'm getting to know, and they're gonna be friends too. So there's no secrets, there's no nothing, and that's how you build your trust as well. Because then if you keep your guy friends away from your potential, I just think it causes because then they start thinking all kinds of stuff. I think if you initially just like, hey, these are my friends, they have respect for me, blah blah blah. We go out, you're more than welcome to join us. And this and that, so you get to know me and who I'm surrounded with, because you know your friends also make an impact on your relationships. Because if you have friends who are jealous of you and don't want to see you happy and blah blah blah, they're going to cause problems in your life. So when the guy sees like, oh yeah, she lives a drama-free life, her friends love her, she's doing what she's doing, and I'm just adding on to that happiness, then that's like, I wouldn't keep the guy that I like away from my friends. But if I feel like a guy does like me, then I won't be friends like that. Yeah.
It's just respect.
It's
So
out of respect.
what if he said he had an interest in you, but I'm okay with being friends?
You gotta go. I already had a friend who just me and this friend, no name, but he expressed to me that we should be together. And I'm just like, but you know I'm with someone. He's like, well, you won't give me a chance. I said, well, you know what? I'm sorry. And if you can't respect that I'm with someone, and you can't respect that I decided that we should never be together, we should keep our platonic relationship what it is, then we can't be friends no more. You know, I'm sorry. I can't give you anything but a friendship. And if you want more, you can't seek me because I can't give you that. And in friendships and relationships, you have to be able to pour into your person. So as a friend, if I can't pour into you and give you what you need, then I don't need to be your friend. You can't be my friend. I can't pour into you. All I'm doing is depleting you. Why do we need to be around each other? So Yeah, no. Like she said, like Moral said, like my friends is his friends. His
Yeah.
friends are my friends. And I have this thing, no new friends. No new friends. What do we need to make new opposite sex friends for? That we can't make together. Now, if we make this friend together, like we went out, you know, and it was like, hey, it's a couple. Oh, hey, hi, couple. Oh, I like you, your homegirl. I like your boyfriend, whatever. Cool. But it's not that I'm going to go out and go to a bar with my homegirls and this guy come up to me, hey, you cute. I want to be your friend. I'm going to bring him home to daddy. Like, no, I'm not going to do that, you know. Your attention wasn't, you didn't see me with my man. You didn't see how me and my man interacted and said, I want to be your friend because of that. You see me. And most people would introduce each other because they have some type of, you know, he's cute, she's cute. Hey, let me say what's up, you know.
Wait, did you say I was cute?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You cute, cute.
Jumana, let's say that you've had a friend for like years, like 15 years, and you guys are just friends, but your new man, and you thought that this was a total platonic friend, but your new man had a bad sense about it, and he asked you to cut that friend off. Would you do that?
Well, depends of what is new man. For me, I would cut that person off if that new man is my husband. If he's not my husband, I'm not gonna cut any guy friends. I just have one guy friend. I just have one that I've known for years. And actually, this topic came up a few weeks ago because there's this dude who's trying to get married to me, and I mentioned my friend, my one guy friend. I told him, look, sometimes I go study with him, and you know he's been there for me for years, like family, you know. And he said, well, that's just not gonna fly with me, and I was okay with it. I get it because I wouldn't like him to have a girlfriend. Let's just be real, you know. It's vice versa. You know, I wouldn't like it. So, so that's, you know, in my case, it's like, and I was married for 8 years, and when I were married for 8 years, we had, you know, couple friends, you know, kind of like what you said, that couple friends is okay, like we have the same friends, or there's no such thing as like I'm talking in like married, because for me, I don't have really, like if I'm not married to the guy, he doesn't get the wifey, you know, rights of like it's just you, and like you can't talk to other guys and you can't go out. No, I don't roll like that, you know. So
Okay, so the short answer is it doesn't matter how long you've known him. If your new husband says cut him off, you're gonna cut him off.
I would, yeah, if that, you know, husband is a good husband, and
Right.
you know, because
That's my head.
yeah, that's like the person you want to like be 80 with, you know what I mean, like 80 years old and stuff like that. So yeah,
I believe.
Can I just interject real quick? I'm keep getting messages from my guy. He's saying that your guys' mics are too far and you can't hear it. Just like scoot this up a little bit.
closer.
Can you hear me now, friend?
Uh, yeah, let's see what he says. Okay, Moro, do you agree with that? There's gonna be a guy that you've been friends with 15 years, totally platonic, but your your husband says, I'm not comfortable with that, cut him off. Are you gonna cut him off?
No. No, because it just depends. Like if he's my husband, you should actually understand who I am, and if he has that trust issues
So
with
let's
me,
like real quick, let me
Go.
reverse it on you. If he has a female friend,
Mhm.
extremely attractive,
Mhm.
he says, no, this girl is platonic. We're not at all like that.
Yeah.
But you see the way that the girl looks at him and you have a bad sense and you tell him to cut him off. Is it fair for him to say no?
I would become friends with her to get to know her. I'm not going to judge her so quickly just because she looks hot, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. So
What if
she
you
might,
took the time to judge her and then you figured it out and that she actually does want to?
I will speak up. I will speak up, but I'm very mature about situations. I won't be like, oh no, you gotta block her right now.
So
Like, no,
what do
I
you-
think that's immature, like
so what do you
blocking,
do?
deleting and stuff. Like, you don't do that. You just have a mature conversation. We're not at the age right now to be like, block this person, delete this person. It's like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, but you tell me how you feel and what you think about this person. Let me get to know them. And that's what I said, like, whoever's my friend is his friend. Whoever's his friend will be my friend, and that's how you bundle up. Like,
So you're just willing to endure your uncertainty and being upset with that situation.
it takes a lot to upset me because I'm very confident in myself, so I don't feel like I'm not the type, I'm not insecure like that. So I feel like people who are really insecure would be like, oh no, delete that person or block that person, don't talk to that person. No, because you don't know like what they've been through. He might have gone through something and she was there during a time. Like, we're human. At the end of the day, it's not just all about relationships or hooking up or anything like that. So you have to be mature about situation, and I think I'm at the age right now that I think before I react. And so like, even if I do get mad for a split second, I give myself a hot minute before I respond to anybody, because I don't want to hurt anybody, and I have a sharp tongue, so I don't want to like go there
You don't
with
wanna make
anybody.
any rash
Exactly. And why should I jump to conclusions before I even know information?
You know, Moro's the type of girl who she's gonna end up being like 90 years old and still married because she was willing to put up with her husband's bullshit.
Hell no. No.
Okay,
See,
what
that's
she's
when you're
saying.
judging me.
Yeah,
No,
no.
that's judgmental. No.
No, that's a good thing. To be
I-
married at 90 years old, you don't want to be a 90-year-old single woman because your man did something to piss you off and you're like, I want a divorce.
But what you
No,
said
but
was
I am
bullshit.
divorced,
Like you
though.
said, she put up with a person's bullshit. That's not what she's doing. What
No.
she's doing
If a
is-
guy has a woman around him that he knows that he can sleep with, but he's denying it, and she's like saying, look, I see the way she looks at you, that's bullshit.
But no,
But
that's not
that's
the question you
different.
said.
No, that's
You
different.
didn't say
He's the
that.
guy. He's saying
Yeah.
that like guys don't like. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go ahead and say there's no such thing as friendship between girls and guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's
I
not about
disagree with
maturity.
that
It's not
one.
about
I disagree.
insecurity. I've been married for 8 years. I know what's up. Like I'm not the jealous type. Like I mean, I like you see jealousy. I'm the opposite. Like I don't care. Like I would not call you. I'll not. I don't want to know about your whereabouts.
Yeah,
I'm
but you
very
can
confident.
develop
Yeah,
great
no,
friendships.
I think
I
this-
trust you, but my culture might be different. So that's why, like in my
Yeah.
culture, the
It
men
is.
know that friendship between girls and guys, there's no such thing, and it's just it is what it is. Couple friends, no problem.
Sorry, y'all.
You know what I mean? Like if his whatever friend has a man, we all hang out, no problem.
Yeah.
And if I have my friend and he has a girl, we'll all hang out. But if it's just like one-on-one, hell no.
You know, that's based on culture. You know,
Yeah,
and
it's
a lot
just
of things
like,
are.
it's a yeah.
I
culture
think
driven.
it is
Yeah.
based on culture, because well, I grew up in London, in Germany,
Yeah.
and we took our friendships really seriously. Like, if we like somebody, they know we like them. If we don't like them, we make sure we don't like them. But in London, we had a huge group of friends.
Yeah.
Everybody respected each other. No one tried to sleep with anyone. We were just like, okay, that person is my friend's husband. That's my brother now.
Yeah.
Or that's my friend's boyfriend. That's my, you see them
Family, yeah.
differently. We don't. But when I moved here, it was a totally different
Well, you know
situation.
why? What you were
So-
describing in your friendships and your
Yeah.
relationships, it's based upon communication
Right.
and
right.
loyalty.
Exactly.
And nowadays, people don't do that. You know?
Yes.
People don't communicate. People aren't loyal.
right.
You know, so you saying what you told me was, oh, hey, I'll get to know this person. I'll, figure
Right.
out if this is true. That's because you have loyalty
Right.
in your
It's-
relationship. So you
exactly.
trust your man.
Mhm.
And you trust that the people he put around him won't put strains on your relationship with him.
Thank you. That's
You
how.
know, you
yes,
communicate
yes.
with him to let him know, hey, this is how I feel. Now, we're all grown, so I'm not going to tell you to get rid of your friend. It's up to you if you want to do so. You know what I mean? I'm going to express my emotions. I'm going to express my concerns. I'm going to express whatever needs
And
to
he
be
says
expressed.
no.
He says no, then that was his decision. Now it's my turn to make the decision.
How would
for
you
me.
express it though? Would it be in a conversation,
conversation.
or upset?
No,
or,
no, no.
Okay,
When
but-
you
but
express
let
things
me-
like that, you can only hear 20% of what I'm saying.
Hmm.
If I'm talking to you, you won't hear me because you're upset.
Yeah, that's
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 very true.
facts.
So
That's
why am
facts.
I going to come at you in this negative way if I want this conversation to be positive? Or if I want you to prioritize me, why am I going to come at you negatively? You know?
Okay, wait, let's get to the bottom of this. So you won't cut your friend off.
No, because I have friendships since like
Okay.
I'm still like best friends with my kindergarten friends.
Yeah.
Like, and I went to Germany. I went to school in
I'm just kidding.
Wait, is that a red flag? What is that?
He said run.
Okay, no, but let's just make it clear. Okay, you
Okay.
said you won't, and that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Nobody's judging you for that, and I think that's a
wouldn't.
mature way to think.
Mhm.
You said you will, and that's totally fair also.
Yeah, and I also want to add, I grew up in France. I had a huge group of friends.
Right.
Actually, a lot of guys came to my wedding in France
Right.
because I grew up with them, brothers. Guess what? We're 12 years later. I don't speak to these people, and I'm divorced.
Oh,
You know,
I do. That's
they're-
the thing.
They're gone.
I got divorced and
Everybody
they were
got
there for
married.
me. When I
Yeah.
got divorced, all of my friends all around the world message me, check up on me. Until this day, like I
Yeah.
can show you guys, like I have the realest and the bestest friends.
Yeah.
Like I'm proud of who I grew up with and I'm proud of who's in my life right now. Any
Yeah.
toxicity, it's already gone.
Yeah,
I
mean,
don't have
same
any
here.
of
They
that.
all
so-
checked up on me 6 years ago when I got a
Right.
divorce, but like, you know, they also got married. Everybody moved on. Like it's, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
But-
it's just like, as you get older, like I don't know how old you are. I'm like, you know, like I'm in my 30s, so it's just
I'm
like
38.
you 38. Damn, you look good.
I get that
You look good. I
all
don't
the
know.
time.
Like it's just like
Yeah.
when you're in your 30s, you're like, listen, if I have a husband, you know, it's like your unit, you know, your family. It's like your husband, you, your kids, and that's it.
No,
like
that
the other stuff
happens.
is like noise. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's just
yeah.
like I don't know. For me, I'm like a very like family oriented person. I do have like I have a very limited circle, like very
Right.
limited. So it's just a couple best friends. That's it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I used to have a huge group. I'm very social. So I used to have a huge group of friends. Like at my wedding, I had like literally like 10 guy friends that came to my wedding. My ex didn't have a problem with it. You know, he didn't have a problem with like them messaging me when I moved to America because I got married in France.
Right.
And he was like, why are they still messaging you? You know, why, you know, they're single. I have a problem with that. You know, I never asked him to block anybody, but he wasn't like, he's not the type of guy who has friendship with girls. And for me, that's the type of man I steer towards. Like, I don't like guys that are friends with girls. Doesn't sit with me. You know
Well,
what I mean?
with me it was like my friends became closer friends with my ex. They would like send each other memes and thought it was hilarious, blah blah blah. Like the guy friends. Like even
Yeah.
like I have really good guy friends in like New York and stuff. And then he started becoming gaming buddies with my ex, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is so cool." I'm like, "Damn, what about me?" You know, like so. For me, I make sure like whoever I'm with, they know who's in my life, and if it's
Yeah.
toxicity, I won't allow it. That's the only thing. And yeah, I just think that they're not every single person in your life wants like something physical or anything like
Yeah.
that. It just
Man.
depends. Yeah, I get that.
Unless
I
they're
get that.
unless they're
I get
like
that.
gay, I don't, you know. I feel like guys who at some point, you know, during the friendship, they, you know, they feel like attracted to you at some point. That's what I believe.
I do understand that too, and I get your point as well. It's just I haven't gone through what you're saying
Yeah.
because I've always been so upfront and honest of who's around me and who's not. Like even if I have guy friends, like my family know about it. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
close to
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of like a very open book.
Mm.
So there's no like, oh, this person, if I feel like this guy really likes me, I'm like, hey, listen, like I'm in a relationship and blah blah blah. I don't think we can communicate
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But if I have friendships since I was like 10, 11, 12, or like 18 until now, yeah, I'm not gonna lose friendship because he's insecure. I'm like, if you have an insecurity with me, let's sit down, let's talk about it. Tell me what's bothering you and let me ease your mind so you know what is going on. So then that's the sort of person I am. Like whoever I'm with, I make sure they feel secure about it. I know nowadays it's very hard. So you have to sit down and communicate with your spouse, your other half, your partner, because I feel like what causes what you're saying is lack of communication. So I think us as humans, we need to communicate a little bit more because why should I break up a friendship over his insecurity?
Yeah.
And that guy's never hit on me or anything, has called me a sister or like been in my life like for the last 18 years and he doesn't know if he's been there for me or not. So, but that's the only thing. I will like my phone will be open. Like if you wanna, like
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
feel
yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
insecurity, I just
Do
calm
you
it
think
down.
if you would have called one of those guys that is like a brother to you and said, "Look, I'm feeling lonely. I want you to come over, and I'm feeling
Oh
horny."
no, but I won't do that. That's just asking for it.
No,
That's asking
but
for
that's not a real
trouble.
friend then. You think he's a real friend, but if he's willing to have sex with you in your moment of weakness, is that really a friend?
Well, friends are supposed to do things for you. So if you call your friend and say, hey, I need a little booty, you know what I mean? They're going to be like, yeah, I got your back, whatever you need. You know what I mean? So he being a friend.
Look, I
wouldn't ask for it unless you gave it.
I don't want Jumana's point to get watered down too, because I think the conflict is healthy here. I can see what Moro is saying, but also I do kind of agree with what Jumana's saying. So
Well, why don't you guys, the guys, tell us what
Yeah,
you
that's a
think?
good point.
What
Go
was
ahead,
what's the side
Darnell.
of the guys? Like, what it, you know?
I think it's possible to have true friendships, but you have to understand that lines can't be crossed.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. There has to
and
be
It's
boundaries.
Boundaries, those difficult conversations, right?
Yes.
What about respect? I feel
Communication.
like guys, like it's not about like, it's not even about the trust situation. It's more about like, it's about a respect thing. I don't know. Maybe I go for like the kind of guys that are like,
when you say respect, you're just basing respect off of, hey, you're a man and I'm a woman. I gotta respect. No, you're respecting this person off of what they wish, what they want from you, what they expect from you. That's respect. Giving this person what they ask for and treating them the way they want to be treated. Now you can't just say base it off of their gender. Hey, you're a man and men only supposed to talk to men and I'm gonna respect you and only talk to women. That's not respect. That's just generalizing relationships. Like
I
that
agree.
you can't.
wait,
do
I
that.
thought we were trying to get the men's opinion real quick.
yeah.
Sorry. You did. Go ahead, Darnell. I'm sorry.
It's. I just think it's possible. But there are men and women that will disguise their true intentions. They'll say, "Yeah, we can be friends,"
Yeah.
but you'll figure it out. But if you have that type of
Do you think it's possible for you to have a very attractive female friend that if you were in a moment of weakness and she was, then you could resist the temptation?
definitely.
Yeah.
You're in a committed relationship. Why should you be tempted to sleep with anybody else?
Yes. Agreed. Agreed.
There's
'Cause
no
we're
temptation
humans,
there.
biologically.
But you say that now though. But if you guys are in a fight and it's like on the brink of things are not going to work out, you've got this female friend that's always been there for you, and now she's available to you. You say that now, and I'm agreeing. If you're in a marriage, you should have you should respect that sanctity of marriage and even like resist that. But if you were put in a situation where there's like the
But I'm gonna tell you what happens. I'm gonna tell you what happens in that. You end up ruining your relationship and a friendship.
I know, but I'm
Yep.
saying
Agreed.
I'm saying that
Agreed.
like in a moment of weakness, when you have those options around you,
But you don't
there's-
have that moment
Well,
of
man, I
weakness
think
if
it
you
comes-
have that type of mentality, though.
Yes.
Because you
Depends
can
on
look
the
at it like
individual.
this. You can sit here and say, okay, you know what? She pissed me off. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna sleep with this woman. Or he pissed me off. I'm gonna go over and sleep with that man.
not even piss me off, but like a stiff dick doesn't have a conscience.
What?
What?
Huh?
What?
Y'all never heard that before?
That's little ass men thinking.
Well,
I'm
that's-
sorry.
I'm trying to tell you. I think it depends on the age. Like now, I'm not at the age to think
Think
the
you're in
way
a fuckboy
you
status
are.
with that one.
Yeah, that's just
Look,
like.
I'm just saying how men's nature is. You guys can deny it
men,
all
boys.
you want.
That's not men.
No,
that's
no,
But
no.
I'm gonna
boys.
tell you 150%, man.
You think
real,
a billionaire is not gonna act like that?
a real man that respects his
He doesn't
woman,
matter
his
about the
queen,
money.
the
That
woman
part.
that's in his life,
That
he's
part.
not going to make that mistake and sleep with somebody for 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's going to ruin what he has at home. That's just not going to happen.
Yes.
Regardless to how
Agreed.
sexy, beautiful, whatever she's
Exactly.
bringing to the table. It happens consistently.
Y'all are talking a big talk, but in America, there's like an 80% divorce rate.
It is, but
It
that's
is.
that's
But
But
the
it's not
divorce
got
has
to do-
nothing to
do
do with
with, you
what we're
know.
talking about right now.
Yeah,
It does.
No.
When-
Divorce
hey,
has something to do
we're
with people
divorced.
getting married for the wrong reasons.
No.
And when they start feeling selfish, now they want out of the marriage. Divorce has to do with social media giving you too many damn options.
I
We
feel
can
like
argue that one all day.
divorce also maybe half of it is to do with the incompatibility, wrong reasons, but the other half is women sometimes think, hey, I could do better than this guy. If they didn't think they could do better, they
then
would
you
stick it
shouldn't
out
have
with
got
them.
married.
I'm just saying
And
that's
that
how
still
it
means
is.
that she got married for the wrong
Wrong
reasons in the
reason.
beginning.
What we all said earlier, it's based relationships, marriage, friendships, and boyfriend and girlfriend status is based off of communication. It's based
Right.
off of loyalty. It's based off of so many morals. And the thing is, if you don't have that moral, then I know I can't deal with you.
Right.
Well, apparently, based on the evidence of the statistics of the United States, a lot of people are having a hard time with the communication
Because
part.
a lot of people lack morals. A
They
lot
lack-
of
And a
people.
lot of people are afraid to have those difficult
I
conversations.
feel like it's more than
Exactly.
anything, people don't want to make effort anymore. I
Yeah.
feel like that's the main reason for
'Cause
divorce.
everybody's tired.
Nobody wants to make effort to communicate, to come halfway in the relationship, be flexible.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to do this. And like the
My
whole
way or the
like
highway.
having friends like guy friends or girlfriends or whatever, I feel like it's all about flexibility. Like everybody has their own culture or whatever. But for me, like I'm being flexible when I tell the guy, hey, look, like I like I'm not gonna have a guy friend, but like if my friend has a girlfriend, he be part of our friends. That's like we're meeting halfway. I feel
Yeah.
like what I mean. It's vice versa.
There's
same thing.
boundaries.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it's people don't make efforts anymore. Everybody's lazy. They're scrolling down the Instagram, the reels. It's like instant gratification for everything. It's just
fairy tale without the work.
that's why it's like our brains are like they can't like they became lazy. Our brain became lazy. Nobody wants to do
Everybody
effort.
got that easy button.
I think everybody just
Isn't that the red
exhausted,
staples?
like
And
now
tired.
and tired because I think everybody did put that effort in that one relationship, like put that person first, do all of the above. And I think nowadays everybody is so exhausted of putting that effort in that they're selfish now. And it's very hard to find a selfless person that's going to put you before themselves because it's not their fault either because it's what they've been through. And so that's when I say like communication is very, very important. And so once you find out what that person's trauma is, what triggers them, you should be mature enough to not do that. Then when it comes back to the conversation with having guy friends, if I feel like if that's gonna trigger my friend, like he got cheated on or something, and so I will obviously for a certain time period just like make sure that he understands or communicate like this is important and make sure that I think it's just communication. There's so much lack of communication right
I
now
think
with everything.
that
Yeah.
in that context of what you're speaking of, when somebody was either cheated on or whatever, and that's a trigger for them, and they have that issue about the opposite sex being friends,
Right.
that's something that they should have worked on before they got into a new relationship, though.
Mhm.
You can't take
Healing,
that
though.
into right,
Yeah, you can't
but
take
but you have to take that time to heal.
Right.
Because now what he just did was he brought that baggage that he went through before and dropped it in your lap and wants you to deal with it.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't think you women communicate as well as you claim that you do.
I want to go ahead and say the same thing for guys. Like a lot
I
of them, they
agree.
go, I know how to communicate. It's all about communication. It's all about communication. When you try to communicate, they're just like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're all imperfect.
I feel like that's kind of like the same story I get from all my girlfriends. They run into the same issue with their, man, whatever relationships. Like,
Well, I think
when they want to communicate, the guy just doesn't want to communicate.
I think sometimes people don't get to the point of what they really want to talk about. They try to dance around it instead of getting to, you know what, I didn't like, appreciate, or understand why or what you did. And they, and well, I really need to talk to you, and I don't know how to say this, and and then by that time you're like, look, well, I'm in the middle of trying to do something, or I'm in a hurry, or I got somewhere else to be, and you're just standing here, you're not getting to the point. Let me know when you want to talk about it. That's how I look at it. Because unless you come out and be like, look, I did not like that you said this when you were talking to this woman or when you were talking to this man. When you come out and say it that way, now you know exactly what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly,
Communication is
right.
key.
You know exactly what you have to deal with. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to guess. Most of it is a guessing in a conversation.
I just want to say more. I'm picking on you because I can't agree with everyone. The podcast won't be as interesting.
No, no. I totally. But the thing is, I totally understand. Sorry, your name again?
Jumana.
Jumana. I totally understand Jumana because like it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's a respect
I
thing.
think so too. I think it's a
I'm
cultural
like,
thing.
my parents, my background, they're raised so different too. Like
Catch
how
me
it is
outside.
now.
How about that?
But
not
I
okay.
totally understand like your
Yeah.
like the morals and the thinking and stuff. But I think nowadays it's so different compared to that culture that we've been raised in.
Yeah.
It's not the same way.
I think the old culture did a better job of keeping the marriage intact.
but no, I
This-
don't
all this
think
My
so. They
parents
communication.
put
got
up
married
with
like 50 years later. They've been together since they were 16.
That doesn't mean they communicate. That means
There's no guy
They
friends with
just-
girlfriends.
they just
Whatever it means, it was working out for them. So this whole communication thing, I don't know. Maybe
No,
it's
communication is good.
No.
No, communication is a must. My parents
Mhm.
communicate all the time. They've been
There you
married for like,
go.
I mean, yes, sometimes they bicker, but at least it's communicated. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, communication is like the most important thing. Because, or else like you resent the other person and you hold
Exactly.
things and then you explode later, or you go cheat, or you go, you go beat the crap out of somebody. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you gotta let it out, and you have
Mhm.
to come to an agreement. You have to meet in the middle. That's what
Right.
marriage is, like relationship. It's flexibility and meeting in the middle. It's compromise. I always tell my married friends, I'm like, look, they come and complain about their marriage. I'm like, look, you chose marriage. Don't come
Yeah.
complaining.
Don't
it's like it's
complain.
about
Talk to the
do you guys
flexibility.
do you guys
gotta
have
be
an
flexible,
do you have an
you know?
example of a way a man didn't communicate the right way to you?
Yeah, but my thing is okay. Just to without being throwing out my example, but you have to know your partner. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, you have to know your partner. That comes back around to the coffee date, comes back around to the regular date. If you know your partner, you know how to communicate to them so that they can actually absorb what you're saying and not just listen and let it go out the other ear, You have to know your friends, you have to know your partners, it's like your boss. You got to know how to talk to your boss. You got to finesse the email to get what you want. It's the same way with your man and your girl. Express to her what you need to express to her, but express it in a way she can take it and that she can understand you and she can see your perspective, So it's knowing who you're talking to, knowing your audience.
Depends on the individual.
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
have to know your
Yeah,
It
audience.
just depends.
And that's in life in general. Your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, cousin, brother, sister, and the
Okay,
homegirl down
but
the
you
street.
didn't give me an example, but Maura almost spilled her drink over there trying to think of
No.
this example. So go
I was
ahead.
trying to put business out there, but
No. Yeah, no. For me, I'm like, oh man, you're trying to
It's
really
okay.
Spit it
throw
out,
me under
spit
the
it out.
bus
You don't
here
have to
right
share if you don't
Spit
feel
it out.
comfortable.
Like, okay, let's say this. Like, when we're talking about like initial first dates and getting to know somebody and all that, like, I'm not gonna give example what I've been through, but there's times like when how we just said like coffee date this or a dinner date or that. It just honestly depends on the individual, who you meet and how you're gonna do it. There are times I've been on a nice coffee date and it ended up just being friendship and that's it. And then there's times that me and that person has just vibed so well and it didn't matter who we were around or what it was. We were just dancing, enjoying ourselves, and we didn't care like who was there or not. And that, like I said, it just depends on the individual. There are people who are just a lot more mellow, who love the coffee date, who love to just chill. But there are people like hyper like myself, who like just wants to enjoy and have a good time. It doesn't mean like there has to be alcohol involved, but it just depends on every individual. And so that's how I see it. But
Okay, so
if I give you
getting-
experience, I'm not going to give you like certain experience.
Okay,
because-
getting back to the initial question, you got a relationship. There's this friend that your partner is, and I wouldn't call it insecure too. I don't know why girls always think that the guy's insecure. Like everyone talks about a woman's intuition. I think a man has a really good sense of intuition too. If he thinks that guy would definitely sleep with you, he's probably right. So that's the conversation here,
Yeah.
is like cutting off friends that your partner is uncomfortable with.
Well, I will take into consideration anything my spouse, other half, or partner says, because obviously I'm going to hear them out and listen to them, but I won't react to the point like, oh no, I'm going to be friends with that person. I'll hear them out, like what they got to say, and I'll just think about it for a minute, because my way of thing is that I take a moment before I react and say something, because maybe they could be right and then I didn't see it that way they saw it, and I'm like, okay, I understand your thing, and I'll relax. But if it's like you said, friendship of 18 years or 15 or 20 years, I know that person more than that person does, and that's just being judgmental. So but if it's a new friend, like, oh, say it's a friend within the group, and I've just met somebody and then like, I feel that person is like this. I'll be like, oh yeah, I think you're right. Like, so it just, again, it just depends on the individual and the situations.
Okay, I guess we're gonna just agree to disagree.
We ain't no mid
And that's
agree
what
to
relationships
anything.
is.
Yeah, because you girls know that.
You know you're lying.
I want to say one last thing about the whole situation when you said like, is there examples of like
Yeah.
miscommunication, like guys not knowing how to communicate? I feel like I'm not gonna give a specific example, but what I notice is most guys don't know how to listen. That's the problem, the whole communication situation. Like they don't know how to like do some active listening. They're not even listening. They just wanna, they're already thinking about what they're gonna say. Their argument has to like, win.
Is
It's
that
like,
just guys, or I think that's both parties can get in that
That's-
mindset.
That's my
Yeah,
personal
stop picking on
experience, and like, like that's what I feel like guys like have a harder time listening than women in general. Because I mean, women are more,
I don't think it's the male or female. I think it's just people.
Individuals,
Yeah,
right?
it's just
That's what I
people,
feel
'cause
like.
my
yeah.
sister, she don't listen, but she ain't.
Yeah.
She don't look at. Sometimes you gotta read a person.
Why
body
you always
language.
trying to tell your sister what to do though?
Bruh, because somebody needs to. I love her though, but it's not just men or women. It's just people in general. People lack the ability
can see that, yeah.
to hear where they're wrong. No one likes to know that they're wrong. No one likes to know that they did something that makes another person feel horrible. It's just people. They don't like it, and it's hard. It's hard to swallow that big pill of, hey, you think I'm a bad person, or hey, you think I hurt you, or hey, it's just something that people in general have to work on individually. It's not a man, it's not a woman. Like my sister don't communicate at all, and her ex-husband tried, and I just do an example, and it wasn't even
You
me,
did.
but no. It's
Well,
just,
we just spent 45 minutes on the first question, so I'm
Oh,
glad
that's a
that
good
it was
question.
Wow.
I'm glad it was a good question. The next question: did Disney lie to us, or can a fairy tale love still happen?
what do you mean by fairy tale love?
Like your Prince Charming has a castle, sweeps you up when you're in some kind of dire situation, and
I don't fairy tale. I believe it's all about emotions. So I can feel like I'm a princess if I'm with the right person.
Exactly.
Like,
the right person will make you
you
feel
feel-
like a princess or the
Yeah.
queen. Like there's certain individuals who know how to do that and
Yeah.
make you feel that certain way. But for me personally, I'm in between a hopeless romantic and an independent woman.
Yeah.
So I'm somewhere in between. Like I love that hopeless romantic stuff and being all that, but at the same time I'm still grounded. Like I know what's facts and I know who's
You still have your
love
individuality.
bombing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you know where with each individual.
wait, you know it's love bombing because it takes one to know one.
Shots fired.
Disney. Wait, I think I got one. Jumana, what do you think about the Disney fairy tale love?
Well, I'm more of a practical person. That's just who I am. I'll be like, listen, man, this is what are you about? Like, what do you do in your daily life? I'm very practical. Like, I feel like for me, like falling in love will come after. Like the only person I feel like I was in love with was my ex-husband. And that was like a love at first sight situation. I didn't even speak English when I met him. It's like,
Wow, you speak good English now. Really.
thank you. But like he didn't even speak any other language but English. But we figured it out, and it was meant to be. It was crazy. It was
Wait.
like
Elaborate a little bit. How do y'all figure it out? Google Translate the whole time?
Google Translate, yeah. Google Translate. And a
That's some
couple
research.
Arabic words, because I know Arabic, he knows a couple Arabic
Damn,
words.
you don't even need to speak the same language as a girl for her to fall in love with you.
It was love at first sight. It was. I felt like really drawn. He felt really drawn. We got married within a couple weeks of knowing each other. I was 19. Don't judge me, guys.
Wow.
I didn't
Can't
make
judge that, but like
rational
you said, you had a
I
feeling and a
yeah.
connection, so
yeah,
that's different.
but I wouldn't do it again. That's I learned from that experience. Like, it's. I have a kid, I have things going on for me. Like, so it's just like I'm more of a practical person now. I'm older, so I just look at how is this gonna do in the long run? You know what I mean?
So you think you couldn't have another connection with somebody like that again?
No. I can. I've had another connection, but not as crazy as this. I've had one since my divorce, but I'm not with that person because it's just not practical. But the connection was still there. You know what I mean? It's just not practical. Like we're different people. We live differently. So it's just like I don't live in La La Land.
So
Yeah,
your
I feel
lifestyles
you
couldn't
when you
come
say
together.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
yeah, there are good people out there, like
Yeah.
with like clear intentions, but
Yeah.
your lifestyle just doesn't match.
It just doesn't fit.
Yeah,
It
just
doesn't.
lifestyle doesn't match, and
Yeah.
it's not someone's lifestyle is better than the other
Yeah.
or whatever. It's
Different.
just different. But that individual is a good human.
Exactly,
That's yeah. I've been through that.
I think our perspectives of fairy tale is different because it
What is
sounds
it
like
to you?
the feeling, the fairy tale feeling,
make you
the
feel like a
emotion.
princess?
Yes, the emotion, not how it came to play. Like what you're describing is how it came to play. Like, oh, you're realistic. We're all realistic. We live in reality. You know, we all live in reality, so we have to be like, hey,
I'm kind of delusional.
Yeah,
you
you're
are. You're in my
Delulu.
line.
I definitely want.
Oh man, it's Dululu.
Yeah.
I want the castle.
But
I wanna
you
ride
know,
up
we
on a
know
horse.
that that's not real. Like, we're not gonna be like, oh,
Girls don't fall for that
Wait,
shit
it's
anymore.
real in my
You know?
head.
No,
Right?
yeah, because we're the prince nowadays. We're the ones saving. You guys are the princesses
And
nowadays.
sometimes
Seriously.
it is. But
Yes,
the fairy tale
seriously.
emotion, I believe in the fairy tale
Yeah,
emotion.
right.
You know,
Me and Omid are gonna agree to disagree
Y'all
this
are.
entire thing.
y'all
Don't
are
worry.
really are.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. Okay, wait. Sorry, we interrupted you. Your fairy tale story is kind of what Moro is
It's
saying
not-
about. It's the way that the
It's
guy
not a
treats
story.
you.
It's just my fairy tale.
So can you describe that a little bit
us?
to us?
You know where you know how the fairy tale show. Oh my gosh, when I see him, I feel butterflies. You can really feel that way about your person. You can really feel
Yes.
that way about your spouse. Or when he talks to me, I just feel like I'm lifted out of air. Okay, yeah, that happens. Or he treats me like a princess. He opened doors and, pull out chairs. That can really happen, and you really feel appreciated. And Disney didn't sell us a lie. People can make you feel appreciated and loved.
The
Now,
butterflies. Yeah.
Now how it comes to play, no, nobody. It's not kissing a goddamn frog and poof, you found your prince. Well, hell, you really can kiss a couple of frogs.
Well,
Find your prince.
I got this right here. Because I know I gotta kiss some frogs.
But
for the
you
princess
do
to
kiss
show
some
up.
frogs for you to get to your right girl or right male or whomever you prefer. But it's, for me, fairy tale is even emotion. And
Yes,
the fairy tale
but
is how
I
you
feel that,
treat
yeah.
me.
Does that have to do with the guy, or is it just
It's-
does it have to do with the treatment?
It's the treatment.
So
on
you-
both
guy
parties.
gives
Have you
the
ever-
treatment,
Treatment-
yeah.
No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the guy gives this woman a treatment. No, I don't believe in just that man. You have to show your partner as a woman that he is appreciated, that you appreciate him, that you give him that prince treatment.
But a lot of girls, they get the butterflies for the toxic guy.
Well, that's because toxic guys have real good game.
That's true.
They have real good game, and they know how to make you feel like that for a short amount of time.
So do you want to be treated like a princess or not?
I do, from the man that I decided to give myself
Oh, there we go. Now
We
you're
all
hitting on
do,
some
We all
truth.
do. I mean, there's
Yeah.
practicality.
Who
You still gotta
doesn't?
treat me like a queen, man.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to
King
treat
treatment,
him like a
You
king.
need to
Yeah.
give queen treatment.
It
that's,
should be
you know,
like
But
yeah.
y'all women don't know how to treat a man like a
that's
king.
not true.
My man
How do
loves
you
it
treat a man like a
weird.
king?
Let me tell you, my ex-husband reaped the benefit for like 8 years.
Exactly.
He was treated like a king.
Can you
Yes,
describe it? Can you give
yes.
us one
Cooking,
example?
cleaning, anything he wanted was served.
I don't think that's
Exactly.
treatment as a
No,
king.
no, even
That's
like
expectation.
Don't know. How do you want to be
treated?
treated if you wanted to be treated like a king? The cooking and cleaning, I agree. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's more than just cooking and cleaning.
Okay.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah,
more.
it's
than
more.
that.
That's
Yeah,
expected.
like,
Yeah.
It's, at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, when you feel like you can't go on, right? She's there. She's your backbone. She's your
Thank
support
you.
system. She's building you up. She's guiding you. She's pushing you. She's your drive. You do everything for her, but she's the one that sees you at your weakest moment.
I totally disagree with that.
She's ride or
100%
die,
disagree.
no, I
No, I get that. That's fair. But I personally, I don't need a woman to push me for anything.
No,
I got
I'm not
this far
saying-
without
but
you.
look,
I'm gonna
I'm not
become.
saying that you need her, right?
It's just what she does.
I'm just saying that, you know, when you come inside the house and it just feels like everything and everybody is attacking you on that day. All the traffic lights are red. You got cut off like 6 times. The grocery store didn't have what you wanted
She's
at
your
it.
piece.
You get
Come
home
yeah.
and
Yes.
you're like, oh my God, everything is just and she's like, it's
Okay,
okay.
I agree with the she's your piece, but I would never share my problems with her.
No,
What?
why
Why
not?
not?
No.
That's
That's
not
the
a
whole
real
point.
Yo,
That's the whole
relationship.
point of
women,
a
no,
partnership,
women
you
say
know?
that that's what they want. They want their man to be vulnerable.
So how
but
can you
that
say you want your
repulses them.
woman to be
I know
your
what woman you're
friend
talking
if
to.
you don't
You're
want
not.
to share that type of stuff with her?
Yeah,
I
you
know.
have to start
We
with
could
the
share.
friendship.
I don't even
What
share
are you
this.
gonna share then?
Your relationships
I know,
are
what do you-
supposed to
what
be
are you gonna do?
vulnerable
It's
with
gonna
you.
be
You're
empty,
gonna be
yeah.
vulnerable to your partner.
I
That's
disagree.
a real
I 100%
relationship.
disagree.
That's
Oh,
not
A woman
relationship,
could be
though.
vulnerable to her man, but a man can't be vulnerable
a
to the
woman
woman.
is
Why
not
not?
gonna feel
That's
Because
not,
women are
no.
not programmed to be able to handle the stress that a
no.
man has.
I
Hello,
disagree.
hell,
Whoa.
oh, me.
I
That- you don't
completely
live in
disagree with
reality.
that. Hold on, hit the
Only
button.
you.
Yeah,
Bruh.
yeah, bruh.
Anybody listening to
Bruh.
him, run.
That was easy.
Run.
Okay, well, prove me wrong.
Women are nurturing, okay? They're supposed to like nurture you
Exactly.
in all types of ways, not just the
That's why
cooking
we
and
are
cleaning,
mothers.
but we're supposed
Yeah.
to be there. You can cry on our shoulder.
She's
It's
not
okay.
my mother.
Yeah,
Well, she is a
obviously we don't
mother,
Being
want to
a
be
nurturer
nobody's
doesn't
mother.
mean she has to be your mother.
But that's just the nature of women. We're nurturing. You know, this is just the nature.
Okay,
of,
can
and the
you
man
tell
is-
me-
his
And
nature
I
is to
guarantee
provide and
you,
protect.
every woman here will attest to this. They didn't know everything that was going on with their man, that they treated that way, but they knew something was off. And they
Thank
came to
you.
rub his shoulders, rub his
Yeah,
back, and let him know
exactly.
it's gonna work
It's gonna
out.
be okay.
They
Yeah.
even without
Yeah,
knowing
I'm
that.
cool with the back rub, but I'm not about to share all my problems
you know-
with you.
but
You
here-
didn't
my-
have to
My
vocalize it.
point is this:
Yeah.
they knew
We
your
know it.
energy was off when you came
Okay,
in the house.
that's true. That goes back to the piece though. If she senses I'm stressed and she
Right.
gives me a back rub, cool. But I don't want to share all
No,
my
but
issues.
but you
with
don't have to. But
If
she's
it's your
still
wife,
there.
she needs to
she's
know.
still
I'm
there
sorry.
to uplift you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
okay.
And you may want to share that.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I get it.
Every
I
time
do.
I've done that, a woman's been repulsed, and it's not in an obvious way. It's like she can't handle all that stress, so she's like, "Look, I don't want to."
But at the same time, it goes back to the last question.
shouldn't be
have to
sharing
know
the
your
dirty
audience.
sheets with her.
Yeah, yeah.
You
yeah,
have to know your audience. You
exactly,
have to know
My
your
audience
woman.
is women.
Okay.
Yeah, but what kind
you,
of
well,
woman?
that woman, that
And what
particular
stage of the
wasn't the right
relationship
woman.
are you
All
in when you're
women.
dumping
No.
the problems onto her? Like if it's in
Yes.
the beginning, she'll be like, I am out
That's
of
not the
here.
right
Exactly.
woman, man.
Right.
That's the
And
wrong
you
woman.
have to
No.
understand how to dump. Not, I don't want to call it dumping, but you have to understand how to express
Download.
your issues with her. You have to
Hey,
understand.
baby, I'm stressed out. That's
Okay.
about it.
If that's all you say, then she's not gonna feel overwhelmed. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah, I've
you're
never heard
stressed.
that.
Oh, kill me now. I'm in distress. No.
No.
You know, you just tell her,
If
learn
any-
how to communicate how you're stressed. Like,
Yeah.
and she, being your piece, will know how to calm your nerves.
I think
Yeah.
you guys say this now, but if you were in that situation,
No, that's not
we've
true.
been
I
there.
was.
I've
I've
been
been there
We've
many
all
times.
been through
I've been
it.
there.
many times.
Everybody has.
I'll give you
Yeah.
an example of my life. My ex-husband cheated on me.
Mm.
Cheated on me. Right? Anywho, he cheated on me.
dogs, huh?
No, you know what? And it was just something that he decided to do. However, he regrets it. He married his mistress, and he called me and told me, "I am sorry.
Wow.
You,
Did he get his
if I
karma?
knew what I knew now, we would not be divorced. I realized that you were my peace.
Goes
You
back to that
supported me.
sacrifice.
You did all these things. You pushed me to be better." Is what Darnell was saying. You know, I helped driven him to get to his goal, and he said at that time I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you and
I didn't see it that way. Now I understand because of the relationship I'm in.
Mhm.
You were my partner and you were my peace. So I'm saying this example because it's for you. You haven't experienced
No.
This,
no.
yeah, you haven't
I'm
experienced a
rejected.
woman.
He hasn't.
I'm
he hasn't.
no, I
He
have.
hasn't.
I've been vulnerable with my woman, and we were together for a long time, and I'm not the only one that's saying this. I've heard multiple guys say that they cried in front of their girl and they were vulnerable, and then she.
So were they crying like a crybaby, or was it, he was dealing with something? Because there's levels to it.
Yes.
Yeah, but like
I
you
think
know,
it comes with maturity.
Wait,
Right?
okay,
That's
like
just
this
different.
question right here. What do you say? I was told I need to get a therapist.
Yeah.
So if
That's nothing wrong
there's
with
nothing
that.
wrong with that. If you are expressing your concerns to your girl or your male, and they say, babe, I think you need to get a therapist.
That's
Respect
good.
that
It's healthy.
decision. Respect
Yeah,
that
it's good.
communication from her, because she's telling you, I'm here to listen, but I can't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fix your problem, but I'm here to hear you. But I know
But you need
who
more
can
I'll
fix it.
support
You need
you.
more
I can
help.
support
Yeah.
you, but I can tell you how to fix it.
Exactly.
Are we gonna talk about therapy? Because we talked about the last time, and I think it's a total
I love
scam.
therapy.
I don't.
I
love
think it's a
therapy.
scam. I think it's.
No,
I don't think it's a
no,
scam.
No,
I
you're
think
just
it's
getting
terrible.
knowledge. That's what therapy is. You go into therapy to get
No, you're
knowledge
venting.
from
Yeah.
professional. You know,
Mhm.
but sometimes there is specific therapy, and I see a therapist. I've seen a therapist for years now, weekly.
Yeah.
Weekly, you
It's
know, and I
needed.
do not. I miss a lot of appointments. I'm late to a lot of things. Let me tell you, the therapy. I'm there in my car in the Zoom. I don't care. I make
She
it.
said that's priority.
You know, that's priority for me because
It's
I
mental
learned
health.
so much, like about like the human mind and the brain and everything through my therapist. I can't thank her enough. She's also from Germany. I love her. Like you
Oh,
mentioned, we relate
yeah,
on
I
the
get that.
European thing.
Uh-huh.
So like, it's. I think it's people that are against therapy. I'm sorry, but it's just like
You need it.
that's you need it, man.
Oh.
That's like
Just saying
I'm
that
sorry to
you
say,
need
but
therapy
like
the
you're
most, I
refusing
mean.
knowledge. Why would
Yes,
you
you're
refuse knowledge?
refusing.
She said you
Straight up
need to talk to
knowledge.
somebody.
You know what I mean?
Use
It's
a pill.
science. And it's
And
like
we
if
can
let's
pull
bring a
bed down and
therapist
let
on
you
the
lay
next
on that
one.
bed.
I'm glad it
I should bring
works.
my therapist.
I'm glad it works for you
My
guys.
best friend is a therapist.
There
And
you go.
let me tell you, I learned so much from her too.
Exactly.
Getting therapy,
It's just-
it doesn't
I
have
love-
to be from a
yeah.
doctor.
It doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean
okay.
something's wrong with you.
Okay, see, that's the thing. We talked about that last time. I said I'm willing to share my doubts and insecurities with someone. It's definitely not a therapist. It's definitely not my woman. It's probably an older man that I look up to that can
That's
guide
still
me.
therapy, though.
That's still therapy.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
so-
I'm not going to a professional therapist though. That's
But
getting
you're
It
still-
advice.
doesn't matter.
You're still
That's
confiding in
you're
someone
therapist.
to
You're
help
still
you
therapist.
help give you
Yeah.
a different perspective on whatever the issue is.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
God,
in
he's
that case,
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So he needs
So
therapy.
for the record is now you think you need therapy.
There you go.
if I could find a billionaire mentor and ask him for advice, if you call that therapy, then sure, I'll take some.
No, you didn't ask for advice. That's asking for advice. But you pouring
Venting.
your,
Yes.
Doubts and insecurities.
There's a
and
huge
doubts into
difference.
him. That's different. It's
Okay.
not getting advice. But yeah,
Okay, well, where the Disney story
we're
thing,
on number 4.
the castle. So you said yes. What was your conclusion?
I know. I say it does exist. I know. He goes picking on me. I think
I
it
just was
exists.
asking.
Like, no, fairy tale love stories, I do think it exists, but not what we. you
Not
know,
what they show. in
Yeah,
the
not
movies.
what they show. It's just different
So
nowadays.
how does it exist then? In what sense?
It does, like, if you meet the right person and you feel like you guys vibe, it doesn't matter about going on a dinner date or lunch date or whatever date. It's just you vibe with that individual, and that for me is fairy tale itself, that I can actually get along with somebody without having to do anything. So that's a fairy tale for me. Like, it doesn't have to be a castle. I'd rather be happy in a comfortable life than be with a billionaire and I don't know where he is at all times. So that for me, it's not about the money, it's not about the castle, it's not about all of that. It's about the individual, how they make me feel. If I'm sitting and just watching TV with my other half and I feel butterflies just doing that, that for me is my fairy
Yep.
tale.
That's what I
Okay,
said.
that's fair. Darnell, do you think they exist?
I feel like guys don't want fairy tales to exist.
Especially
I
this
think
one.
I feel like
to
I
a
don't
certain
want it to
point, they do exist. Because the same feelings that women have, we have those feelings also. Sometimes they get ignored out of fear, out of rejection. You know, it just comes down to, like we talked about before, when you look across the room and you make eye contact with somebody, there's that connection. And that's where it all starts. Now, you got to figure it out from there still. It just can't be based off of that. Because after that goes and, you know, the sex goes and the intimacy goes, what do you have left? You can't just have it based off of that connection. It has to be more. It has to be more substance to the relationship.
So in short, yes, it does.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. And Juana,
Well, I mean, everyone wants to be treated like a princess. Like it's just, and
Natural.
all men want to be treated like kings. Okay, so like I don't know what like your question is kind of like I would say like weird. Like I don't understand what you mean by
It's kind of
like,
open ended.
yes,
very
it's open ended. It's like
Okay,
very
well,
general.
that's why I
You know what I
answered
mean?
it
It's
open-ended.
very general. Like is it a fairy tale like Georgina and Cristiano Ronaldo? Is that what you're talking about? Like she meets this loaded guy and like takes her up, or is it
that
like
one.
you meet like the person and you just like love at first sight, or what is it?
Yeah, that's I
It
feel
wasn't
the same
specific.
way.
It wasn't specific enough.
No, because like for me, like I've met someone and I'm like, oh my god, that the instant like connection.
Yeah.
For me, that was the fairy tale. Like,
Who,
oh
me?
my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
this one.
Okay, no, you guys are right. The question is kind of it's tough to define.
Just say yes or no
Yeah.
too. Yeah, you can't really.
Well, we got more questions, and we're an hour and 5 minutes in, so we got like 30 minutes left. Next question: thoughts when somebody says I'm a bad texter or I'm bad at texting?
Lack of
I get it.
communication.
I get it.
I can't even say that because he
There you have it.
communicated to you that he sucks at texting. So you can't say lack of communication.
Is that what you would say to your boss? I'm bad at emailing, and I'm bad at responding to emails.
That's a different relationship.
So it's different between email and your boss and
It's
texting
a
with your
different
For myself.
relationship.
do
That's
it.
from a job to your
can't do it.
person. That's different. Like I'm not gonna expect you to speak to me like you're speaking to your boss.
Right.
I'm not gonna expect you to email me the way
Okay,
you
but
email your boss.
okay, you said you can't do it.
Inconsistency, I cannot do. Like, if I don't know where you are, who you're with, you're not for me. Like, all I need to know is that you're alive and you're okay. I don't need like constant like text message. Hey, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm doing that. It's like, hey, I was busy at this time. Like, just thinking of you. Hope it's well, and I'll call you later and we catch
But
up.
that's
That
Yeah.
for me is communication. And if I feel like, oh, some dude's gone for like 10 hours and then I hit with the, what are you doing?
Yeah. No.
Losing
that's not
interest,
okay. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
well, okay.
That's
So
toxic
are you
for me.
saying that you messaged him throughout the day, and it took him 10 hours to respond, or
Right.
are you saying? Oh, that's what you're saying.
No, but both. It's not like what I've gone through is my requirements and expectations.
So okay.
Like I require like communication. If you can't give me consistent like communicate, like I said, communication is key. If you cannot communicate, then there's no point of actually having a relationship.
But he did communicate. He said, I'm not good at texting. So if a person is telling you what they're incapable of doing, why would you expect him to do that?
Then I will expect a phone
So
call then.
exactly. So
If it
expect a
does
phone
not
call.
neither, then I won't even respond
That's
or
not
Man,
what
that's
you like.
So-
Yeah, that's
different.
just not what
That's-
you like.
That's
I just-
different.
I
What
don't
if
like
he-
inconsistency in anything.
I don't
That's-
think it
that's
means
has to be-
inconsistency because like I feel like I'm a
Yeah.
horrible texter.
I am
Like,
too.
Yeah, but you
geez,
have
sometimes it's
responsibilities though. It depends on every individual.
But
like
he
if I
may
feel
as
like
well.
yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like it depends. If someone communicates with me like I'm busy from this time to this time, I'm so understanding. We all have
Okay.
responsibilities.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they say if they are working, they're busy, they have a kid, they have this, they have
Yeah.
that. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you gotta text me 24/7. It's just like, let me know you're okay.
But
Just
that
that
kind
what
of
if
goes into
somebody-
play
yeah.
with him first saying, hey, I'm a bad texter, right? I'm just going to scenario.
Yeah.
He lets you know, hey, I'm a bad texter. I'm not really good at texting.
But I think that's
But
an
then-
excuse.
But no. He's
Me
just
too.
letting-
I think that's an
I don't
excuse.
think it
I
is
don't
excuse.
think
I
so.
think it's him communicating like, hey, I don't always shoot good morning text messages. I don't always say good
No.
night text messages initially. But then you message him, oh, hey, babe, how are you doing? And then he says to you an hour later, oh, I'm sorry, I was busy. Are you going to say that's inconsistent? Or are you going to say, oh, okay, he expressed to me before he don't have his phone next to him all the time and can't read text messages. It was already expressed
Wait, he
that
can't read or he can't
Well,
read
I'm
text
sorry.
messages?
People no. I think everybody is you're on your phone. I'm on your phone. You got your
Yeah,
phone.
yeah.
You got-
Everybody's
no. If someone does not text you, they don't care
I
about
think
you.
me and Maura
Straight up.
finally agreed on something.
I don't agree with that.
I
don't.
do because
think
I
it's-
feel like people are on their phone all the time.
But
Not
we're
necessarily.
we're on our
No.
phones because we're sitting here in
here.
a moment
Yeah.
in between, so we can sit.
Yeah,
But
in moments in between at work, you check your phone. It takes 2 seconds to text somebody. You're telling me you don't have 2 seconds of your day to tell me, "Hi, I'm busy." Then I don't want to know.
Okay, I
Yeah.
get that. If he doesn't communicate and say, "Hey, I'm thinking of you," it don't have to be a text. It can be a call. It can be
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be text.
But
as
I don't
long as
think
there's
that's
communication.
okay.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's the main thing for
Communicate,
me.
but I
Yeah.
don't think a person saying I'm a bad texter is a red flag. I just don't. You know, one
I
he
feel it is.
communicated that he communicated he does not
Yeah.
text. I suck at text messaging.
Me
Like
too.
I give one word responses a lot of
Right.
times, you know, and that
You
I
better
can
not give me
I
no
can tell a
one-word
person,
response.
hey, I suck at text messaging. That doesn't mean I suck at communicating with you. That just means I suck at responding on messages the way you expect me to.
so
I
that's
agree
the
with
that's the
that.
part of it. It's the expectation
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
want more of a dialogue conversation
Yes,
in a
and I
text.
can't give you that.
And it's like, well, you should appreciate the fact that I did respond to your message, even though you didn't get the response that you were looking for.
Okay, but
See?
okay, this is important to distinguish. There's two different things that we're talking about when we say bad at texting. One is that you don't respond in a timely manner.
Right.
Two is you respond in a really one-word answer
Yeah.
type of.
So what's
Because
your
it's
bad?
normally
What
you're
is your bad?
responding in the process of doing something else. So you want them to know that, look, I didn't forget about you. I saw your message, but here's a quick response.
That's that's fair. That's fair. Like
But that
if-
could be called a bad texter.
Okay, okay, I got
that's
something to
fair,
say.
but-
Okay, some
Yeah.
people, okay, this is like a third tier. Some people don't have witty texting skills. So I would say that
They
could
got
be,
preloaded
I'm so-
messages for you.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I don't have one. I suck at English. This is not my first
No,
language.
But if
I'm
if,
still learning.
if someone
So what is your first language?
Ebonics.
My own?
My own. I just can't. My dialect is in text messaging. Like I'd rather talk to you
In person,
in
yeah,
person,
yeah,
or
the
I'd rather
same way,
speak to
yeah.
you over the phone. So it depends on what you're bad at. What
So how
text
would one of
messaging you're
your
bad at? Like what
text
that means.
messages sound like? What would it?
Oh,
what
it'll
would it
probably be
read
run
like?
on sentences.
bro, she lying.
Sometimes
bro.
it'd be like shh. Like I write the same way I talk. You know, so they'd be like, "What the hell you just say to me?" I'd be like, "Bruh."
It'd be a long one, right?
Right? And then they'd be like, I didn't get it. I'd be like, you know what? I gotta talk to you to let you know how I really feel.
Okay, but let's get clear on this. Okay, if someone is not witty at texting, I think that's totally fine. Okay, if somebody doesn't
don't
text long messages, I think that's totally fine.
I can't stand a dissertation. Call me. We're gonna talk about this. I don't want to read
But
50 lines.
That's
it's
those two
too many
things.
lines.
Those two are fine, right? I'm fine with both of those. But what I'm not fine with was what Moro said.
I
Lack
text
of
you, you don't
Yo,
respond.
10 hours passed. You know,
That
you
is a
know.
You're
problem.
telling me that you did not have like 2 seconds to say, "Hey, I'm busy." Then no, I don't.
What
want
if
to
your
know.
phone is on do not disturb mode?
My phone is on do not disturb all the time. It's not about that.
And
It's
I forget.
communication.
Well, no, what you're saying is if you're messaging your
Communication.
person and they're not responding to you at all, I completely understand. And I
Right,
get
right.
that. I will be pissed.
Right.
But that's not, I guess when the person say I'm bad at texting, that's not
Okay, wait.
texting.
Let's
That's bad at
let's
communicating.
redefine the
That's
question.
bad at communicating. If you can't communicate and say, hey, I saw your text messages, that's bad at communicating.
Okay,
Right.
let's redefine the question then. We're not talking about bad at texting. We're talking about
Bad at communication.
no.
Late
What if
responses,
some,
right.
yes,
Or no responses?
yes,
Ghosting.
Yeah.
Then
Leaving
viral.
on
ghosting
red.
us, not
Leaving
just,
you on
there's
red,
no
like-
texting.
Does that mean that the person necessarily
not
doesn't
interested.
care and not interested?
Yes.
No.
I,
I don't
What?
agree.
No.
I don't
Okay,
think
Come
so
on. You
I
can't be
swear I don't
interested
agree.
with some.
I
You
was
cannot be
interested in
interested in
somebody-
somebody and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna text them whenever I want." That's not. You're not interested.
So let me ask you
feel
this
like we
question.
should-
Wait.
That's
She's
not-
gonna.
Text
She's
whenever
gonna. I
you
want
want.
to see them duke it out right now. Catch me outside.
I feel, I feel like we should. I mean, I feel like I personally feel like I'm not in. Like nobody's entitled to me answering promptly or a couple hours. I answer whenever the hell I want, unless you're my
But how
husband.
interested
Again,
you? Then are you really interested in that person?
Yeah, it has happened to me that I'm interested in the person. Sometimes over a couple days. Sometimes I don't
A
want to.
couple days.
couple-
You left your
Like, you
husband
guys-
on
I
red
don't-
for a
I-
couple
like,
days.
I'm a
Unless you're
loner.
my
I'm
husband.
really like I like to be alone sometimes. Even my mom gets worried. She lives in France. She's like, I haven't heard from you in 2 days. Like I just go to the tank. I go to the isolation tank. I stay there for a couple hours. Like I
Your
just,
mom is different than your husband, though.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Like I've had guys. Like I mean, my ex-husband, I would never text. He worked from home, so I saw him all the time. So this, he
That's
was on my
different.
face
Different.
That's
all the
different.
time. So I don't know. Like I've been interested in guys. Like like we talked about marriage and all that stuff. And yes, I've taken a long time to answer sometimes, but it's just because I'm busy. Like
Or if
I'm
you
not,
express that you're busy, then that's
yeah, I
understandable.
do. I do express. I'm like, look, I was busy. I have my kid. I have a special need kid. That's a lot. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's
that
a
makes a
lot.
lot
That
of
makes sense,
sense.
That's
but you
different.
expressed
That
it.
makes-
That, like
that-
my
you
kid is
expressed
like
it,
he's always putting
communicated.
himself in
That's-
danger. So I'm like 24/7 watching him. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
that's
I go to
your
school full
situation.
time. You know what I mean? So it's just like
It's not that you don't
That's when I said
feel
about
that
the
you need to
responsibilities.
respond. You
Yeah.
are actually busy.
yeah, I'm
And you
actually
can't
busy,
respond.
and I just
Yeah.
don't.
But you
like-
say it. Some
or
people don't say it,
sometimes-
is what she's saying. Some men
Exactly.
don't say, hey, I'm busy.
No, I
Some
say
men
it. I
don't
say, or sometimes I just forget straight up. I feel like I answered the text message. I don't know if it
Oh, I have a
happens to you
friend who
guys.
does that.
It happens to me all the time. That
I
and
get
mixing
that.
updates.
I'll be like, girl, if you don't call me back, I'll text her and it'll be like
Oh,
3 minutes.
shit.
My friend got mad at me about this like many times.
What,
my
what did that do?
No, you guys are good. Keep going.
Oh, technical difficulties. You want to scoot over here?
Yeah, do you want to calm down?
No.
Y'all should have seen his face. But yeah, no.
I just think everybody's situation is so
Yeah, it's
different.
different.
And you
yeah.
gotta understand, like, say if like someone like yourself has that situation and stuff, I'm totally understanding of that. Like, this
Yeah.
person's very busy. I don't expect that kind of communication. It just depends on every individual.
Yeah.
But if there is a lack of communication, it's not about being a bad texter or calling or anything like that.
It's
I
just
just
you
need
don't
to
respond,
know.
yeah.
I just need to know you're okay. And that's my personal thing that I cannot bring in here right now.
I-
But
I-
it's just so
Yeah.
for
That was
me,
with
like,
me
I need
too.
to know that you are okay and that you're alive. That's my main thing. So
I had
Yeah.
a relationship where that was an issue. It was like I would message you and I wouldn't get a response from you for hours later. And I'm like, yo, you could at least told me you were safe. You could at least told me you made it to work. You could have told me you made it
Right.
home. But the reason I say that is because I told him that. I told him I didn't like that. I don't like it. If you want to continue doing it that way, then we don't need to continue to communicate.
right.
And then he changed it. You know, so that's where
Flexibility
again,
coming
yeah, it's
halfway.
prioritizing. It's
Yeah.
prioritizing
Yes.
that person.
Yes.
So yeah, you can suck at saying, "Oh man, I didn't respond." Da, da, da. Okay, you want to prioritize me in this relationship? Respond. Respond. Say something. Hey, got it.
Right.
So wait,
Home.
are you talking to her?
No, because she was.
Because she's the bad one at
No,
responding.
No, but
No,
she's
she
got different
has-
type of
she has
But
responsibility.
people don't understand. right? I've
preventing
had
her from
guys-
messaging.
Yeah.
Some guys just don't message because they didn't feel like it, or some women
yeah.
didn't
Don't,
message because they
yeah.
don't feel like it.
Vice versa.
Some guys are just hustling.
Okay, but that's busy. They're busy, so they can literally say, "Babe,
Yeah,
working,
I'm busy. Yeah.
working."
It just depends on every individual.
As long
You
as you
know,
say I'm
That's all it
busy,
is.
I'll talk to you later, or you say it later. Hey, look,
Do you
I was
say that?
busy. I do.
She
Oh,
said
then
she
that's
does.
still
I do.
still
I
responding.
do. Like,
Yeah.
but sometimes I say it after. You know, I don't.
You apologize for
Then
the,
you-
I do.
the,
I,
the
no, I do
hiatus.
apologize. I do. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I meant to respond earlier, but I was busy, or
But
I
then
just didn't
that's-
even
that's
see the message.
communication,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
just,
nothing
I'm not
wrong with
rude.
that.
I would never do something like this. If
I
I'm
thought
not-
initially you're like,
if
I
I'm
don't
not,
care.
No. If I'm not, no, but also like I feel the reason why I said I feel like I'm entitled to answer whatever I want is because I've had some people that I was just
Sorry,
starting
y'all.
to get to know, and they don't know me. They don't know anything about my life. I don't know anything about their life. Like I don't
Yeah.
expect them to answer right away, but they would get mad at me because I don't answer right away, or
You
like
gotta
don't
give
know
them a
anything.
whole
Like I
book
don't
on
feel
their
like
life.
you know like I've had this guy who was just getting so angry. He's like, "You left me on scene." I didn't even realize he was left on scene. Probably it was a bug dial that he got left on scene. You know?
Yeah.
Like I don't. You know?
I know.
I don't play games. You know, if
Right.
I like you, you're gonna know. If I don't like you, you're not gonna like. You're gonna also know.
I just
You
think
know
it
what I mean?
depends on individuals. Yeah.
Respond. Just
Respond.
period.
Just
If you don't respond,
communication,
just
yeah.
say, "Hey."
Whether it's a
Sooner
text
or
or
later,
a phone
respond
call
and just say
or
something. Yeah.
Instagram, whatever it is,
They're not
any
gonna do
form of like
Do I do what?
communication.
not respond.
I have
hours
been,
later.
right. I have been accused of that.
Oh.
The difference
would
is,
agree.
I run my own business,
Mm.
and so Yeah, as much as I have it, it's on my wrist or whatever. But when I'm in, work mode or going, the time that it takes me to stop and respond and go through that process and say I did that 5 times, that's 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's going to take me longer to do what I'm trying to
And it
finish.
interrupts your flow state
Right.
sometimes.
And then since you responded, they're going to respond right back. Now you're engaged into this conversation that took 30 minutes. And the work that I do, if you stop for 30 minutes, that adds 30 minutes to the end of it. So
But
if
like
you wanted to be done at a certain time, you can't be done at a certain time if you continually to stop to go back and forth with messaging.
But if she knows that about you, then you
Yeah, I was gonna
communicate
say
like
that.
these are the times that I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's important.
And for the most part, man, it's only I think a handful of people that are unreasonable to you're working and you can't stop to take my phone call, and those are the people
Everybody's
that you,
hustling.
you don't need to deal with. It's and only time that you may see that is if you're busier than they are and they have more free time, and so they want to fill their free time with trying to talk to you, knowing that you're busy.
Or people who are insecure.
Definitely
Right.
insecure.
A lot of men and women who are insecure base that
But a lot of
messages
them
on it.
these days they'll answer you while they sitting right next to the dude or the
Bruh.
woman. Seen a lot of those videos on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
So they'll be laying there next to the side chick,
Texting their wife.
messaging their wife or their husband, or the side dude texting their
Okay.
wife or their husband like, "Oh yeah, I'm just still hanging out, this, that, and the other. I'll be home in a little bit." In the meantime, they're sitting next to somebody that they shouldn't be with.
I know some women who be like, "Oh, FaceTime me. Oh, show me around the room." Like, wait a minute. If you gotta go through that depths of talking and being with the person, don't be with them.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I experienced that before, and I was like, yeah,
We can't do this.
we
Why
won't
y'all
be FaceTiming.
y'all dating weird people like that?
I didn't date this person. I said I know someone.
That's just
It's-
crazy.
That's
It's just
crazy. I'm like,
That's like telling,
it's
give me
tiring. We
your
don't got time for
location.
this
Yeah.
anymore. It's
Oh,
too
send your
old for
Yeah,
this.
send me your location
send
so I
me your
know where you
location.
at.
Why do I gotta send you my location?
Exactly.
We
No, that's not
grown. If you
happening.
can't trust that, I'm.
Man, trust and believe what I'm telling you. If you can't trust and
Yes.
believe what I'm telling you, we got a
shouldn't
bigger
be-
problem.
Yeah, you shouldn't be with
Exactly.
that person.
Well, I
But-
wouldn't
yeah.
trust any of you guys to walk me across the street, so I don't know what you guys.
I feel like this guy has like trust issues,
Man,
man.
he has
Yeah.
deep rooted.
You know what? And that's what
let's
it's
do a
about.
therapy
It's
session.
healing.
I mean,
I got
you
hurt,
gotta
but I
come
still
into the
trust people.
relationship with heal.
Damn, it was a joke, you guys.
Man, be healed, brother.
He
Pray
really
about
needs
you.
that
Do all the
therapist.
Hey,
healing
man,
right now.
we gonna find your pinky toe, man. We gonna find your toe.
All right, well, you guys, my camera died like 5 minutes ago, so it's a good time to end the stream now.
Okay.
Did you guys have fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Yeah, it
you
was
for having
nice.
us.
I still feel a
Thanks
little
for having
awkward in
us.
front of the
It
camera,
was
y'all.
fun.
You did a pretty good job, though.
It's my first podcast.
Yeah, same.
Well, would you guys like to come back again?
If you invite us.
If you have food,
I'll order some
Or
pizza.
like water or something. I'm just,
I had to bring my
Like-
own water.
I mean,
I
like,
bought my own.
Oh, well, he got
Let's send him
a
a
bottle.
glass.
y'all.
Don-
He got
Donnell,
a
Donnell
bottle
drank
and
them all.
full
No,
cups.
Michelle drank them all.
Yeah,
I'm gonna blame it on
talked
Michelle.
about water and tequila.
Omid
Damn.
knows how much I love pizza.
Oh, yeah.
I love food.
Oh, yeah. I almost killed her with a piece of pizza.
With a pizza. Tell me that story. I want to hear that.
We
I
saved that for
started.
the-
Yeah, we'll save that for next time. All right, you guys. Let's end the stream.
That's
and,
gonna be one of those questions. So